June 6th, 1944. Over 156,000 Allied soldiers stormed the beaches of Normandy. It is the largest seaborne invasion in human history, and it very nearly failed.
Rough seas, faulty intelligence, German defenses stronger than expected at Omaha Beach. For a few desperate hours, the outcome hung by a thread. But what if it hadn't held? What if the swastika still flew over Normandy by nightfall? By 1944, Nazi Germany had spent 4 years fortifying the coast of Western Europe. The Atlantic Wall, a chain of bunkers, gun emplacements, and beach obstacles stretching over 2,000 miles, was designed for exactly this moment. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel believed the invasion had to be stopped at the water's edge. The first 24 hours will be decisive, he warned. If the Allies gained a foothold, Germany's fate was sealed. If not, the war in the West could drag on for years, or end in a negotiated peace. Hitler, however, held his panzer divisions in reserve, convinced the real invasion would come later at Calais. This single decision, a delay of precious hours, would prove costly. But suppose he hadn't hesitated. Picture the alternate timeline. German panzer divisions, released at dawn instead of held back, slam into the beachheads before Allied troops can dig in. At Omaha, already the bloodiest landing zone, resistance stiffens rather than breaks. Without a secure beachhead, follow-on waves of troops and armor have nowhere to land. Allied air superiority buys time, but supply lines strangle. Within days, Eisenhower faces an impossible choice: reinforce a failing invasion or withdraw. A failed D-Day would not have ended the war, but it would have changed everything about how it ended. With the Western invasion collapsed, Allied planners would need 12 to 18 months to mount another attempt, if political will even survived the disaster. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union, already grinding westward through Eastern Europe, would face Germany largely alone in the West a while longer, freeing more German divisions to reinforce the Eastern Front.
Stalin's post-war territorial gains could have extended even deeper into Europe. Britain and America, meanwhile, would face growing pressure at home. Years of war fatigue, mounting casualties, and a Pacific War still raging.
Some historians argue Nazi Germany's defeat was already inevitable by 1944, given Soviet momentum and Allied industrial output. But a failed Normandy invasion could have shifted who liberated Europe and where the Iron Curtain would eventually fall. D-Day succeeded, not because of a single stroke of luck, but because of years of preparation. Deception operations that fooled Hitler about the invasion's true location, and the sheer scale of Allied resources. Even so, the margin between success and catastrophe was razor thin. Had Hitler released his reserves sooner? Had the weather turned worse? Had Rommel been at his post instead of away for his wife's birthday? Any one of these threads pulled differently could have unraveled the entire operation. History rarely turns on
Grand inevitabilities. It turns on hours, decisions, and the width of a beach. Normandy reminds us that the world we live in today was never guaranteed.
It was one on a knife's edge, one impossible morning in June.